Hey guys, welcome back to Closing Time, a podcast with Amanda Armstrong
and Randy Bradshaw.
We are the team leaders of Selling Blow-No at Remix Rising, and we talk about real estate, everything local, family, kids, dogs, you name it. We talk about it.
We do. And today we're going to talk about how to prepare to buy or sell in the spring market, because the spring market is vastly different than our winter market. So let's talk about the stats from last week.
Yeah. Cannot believe it. We sold 45 homes, 46 homes in the past 7 days, which is dated February 24th to yesterday, March 3rd. So that's pretty amazing. That's a very, very busy week. That's actually typical and on point what we see at the height of our market.
Yes.
So we're starting the market off strong this month.
Yes, and I was just involved in a multiple offer situation where there were 7 offers, and we were in the $300 to $350 price range, and I haven't experienced something like that for a few months. So that shows me that buyers are out and they are ready to purchase a home.
Yeah. So spring is typically the busiest season because I think people, from last year start to make their resolutions in January. Hey, we're going to buy a house in 2026. We're going to sell our house in 2026. And people kind of wait for the fall or the winter to kind of dissipate and the spring happens and everyone starts to put their homes in the market. Buyers are coming out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times that's timed with schools.
Yes.
A lot of 2-story homes are timed with schools. Families want to move throughout the summer, not to disrupt the kids and their school session, and they want to be in place by the fall comes around. So we see a lot of that happening with our springtime.
Yes, and also moving in the winter is terrible.
It is.
So
the snow, icy,
especially in the Midwest.
freezing. Yeah,
exactly. So today we're going to give you kind of a playbook on how to buy and sell in the spring so you don't miss out.
Right. So let's first talk about sellers. How are we going to start prepping for our house to sell? And how long do you think we should start prepping?
Yeah,
and talking to an agent before.
Maybe at least a month before.
I feel like I'm sitting on your lap.
Come on over. I feel like at least a month before. If you hear a little growl, we have a nervous dog.
Aww.
So anyway, but definitely start at least 30 days. Start talking to your agent 30 to 60 days before you want to sell, because your agent's going to come over and give you lots of great ideas to make sure that your home makes a great impact as soon as it hits the market.
Right. Like things like touching up our paint, the curb appeal. I mean, that's where I feel like the showing starts when you're walking up the driveway and you're sitting at the front door. You want to make sure that space is a 10 out of 10, because I think that's where they spend a lot of time while we're fumbling with that lockbox, trying to get it open. They're looking around at everything.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to make sure, because if you forgot to do your fall cleanup of the landscaping, it's time.
Yep. Let's do it.
It's important. Yep. And another reason that you should start early is because you want to utilize a coming soon strategy for your listing to make sure that you get the most eyes and the most showings right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think you and I have a very similar strategy with using coming soons.
Yeah.
5 to 7 days before we go live is when I like to start my pre-marketing.
Yeah.
I think you're the same.
Yep.
Kind of put it on our social media pages. There's a sign in the yard.
Yep.
Neighbors start to call the neighbor, hey, you're moving.
Yes, exactly. I've had so many sellers be like, wait, can you wait to put the sign up until we tell our neighbors?
Yes. I just had that too. We were in the backyard and the dogs were playing against the fence toward, each side of the fence. Yeah. And they said, I haven't told the neighbors yet. And I don't want to do it. So wait to put it. I mean, this was like a month before we even went on the market. So I'm like, yeah, we can wait for sure.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah. So let's talk about pre-listing prep. I mean, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit talking about front porch.
Yeah.
But what else do you think is really important that they start tackling before we go live?
I just always tell my sellers that you would never live in a home the way you do when you're about to sell it, because you want to remove anything personal, really, off of even clear off your coffee bar and only put out the things you use every day. Like remove the spoons, remove the cups, just keep the pretty things out.
Yeah, and minimal.
Because
you just want all those flat surfaces to be as bright and open and decluttered as possible.
Yes, you don't want buyers admiring your stuff. You want them to start visualizing their stuff in your house.
I don't know. When I come to your house, I admire your stuff.
Well,
like your cute cups. Look at her cute cups. Yes, you're not selling?
No, we couldn't sell it like this.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you could.
But also touch up paint, because there are things when your agent walks around your house they're going to see just because they have fresh eyes. And don't feel like anyone's ever picking your house apart when they're mentioning things to do. It's really to your benefit, and it's only for your good. It's not because we're not walking around thinking like, oh my gosh, they haven't touched up this paint in like months.
That's a really good thing to like keep in mind. We're not picking apart your home. We're just trying to show it in the best light right out the gate to net you the most money.
Absolutely. And you already talked about landscaping and curb
Yeah.
appeal. It's so important, especially on the photos when people are walking up.
Yeah. I mean, I will say now in March is not the best time for pictures because the grass isn't green. There's no leaves. It's all like dead foliage from the winter that has crept up. But, that's okay. I think people can look past that for a little while.
Yeah. And something to mention, if you do have the foresight to know that you're in the summer, you're listing in the spring, it's great to get your listing photos taken ahead of time. So
Great point.
yeah. So think about that.
And another thing, I think that the worst job to clean up in a house is the windowsills. Like cleaning the windows inside and out, even like spraying down your screens.
Yes.
It makes such a big impact.
Yeah, and it can be such an easy, fun job if you just get the little doohickey.
Wait, what? Did you just say fun? No.
Well,
Okay, next let's talk about pricing strategy.
yes, I think it's important that we talk about how overpricing in the spring can really backfire.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there are a few reasons that it can really backfire. The first one being that the goal is to sell in the first week that your home's on the market or as soon as possible, because people are used to seeing homes move quickly. If your home doesn't move quickly, the first question a buyer is going to ask is, what's wrong with this one?
Right.
Even though there's probably nothing wrong with your home, it's just a little overpriced.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important to work with an agent and have those conversations before. And sometimes as it gets closer to your, date that you plan to go active, depending on the competition, you might want to adjust that pricing even more than what you originally talked about. So it's important to keep in touch.
Yeah, so definitely hold your listing price loosely until you go live. Yeah.
And in the spring, we see a lot more multiple offer situations happening. Just like you said, you had one past week there were 7 offers. So we're starting to see that in Bloomington-Normal already. So how do you position yourself as a seller for multiple offers?
Well, I can tell you how this one happened. I think it came on the market underpriced. And because of that, people were like, oh my gosh, what a value. This home is so well maintained. I can't believe it's this cheap. Let me give them more than they're asking, because they positioned themselves well.
Yeah.
And the house was immaculate. I mean, they must have lived so lightly or just really taken their listing prep seriously.
Yes. So those A-plus homes and all the price points are the ones that we will probably start seeing a little more multiple offers happening. So kind of keep that in mind. It's okay that you put a lot of effort into right before you hit the market to give it the best chance for the multiple offer situations, because in those instances, sometimes you get an appraisal gap if someone's paying way over asking. Sometimes you can waive inspections. You get the closing date that you really want.
Yes, the more hard work you put in to your listing before it goes live, the easier that the rest of your transaction can go.
Right. So then we can talk about seller mindset.
Yes, this seller that got the 7 offers definitely had a great seller mindset because they were very flexible with showings. Their home was show ready for the 3 days that it was on the market. It looked like no one was living there, and they were clearly taking this seriously. And
I know, like, people that have children that stay at home or dogs, it's not always possible to be show ready at all times, which is why working with an agent, we can kind of formulate a good marketing plan to go around your schedule. That way you can show it when the sellers are ready, not, always at the buyer's mercy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. Yep, and it's great to have a plan for if there is a quick turnaround time for a showing request. Maybe a buyer is already out looking at homes and they pop up, your home pops up. I mean, that could be the one. So it is good to be flexible and do everything that you can to make it work to the seller's schedule, but also be flexible and have a plan to get out of there quick if something pops up. Like, have your laundry baskets ready to throw all the toys in. Even like dirty dishes. I've had people take laundry with them. So it's good to have a backup plan.
Great idea. And I think one of the hardest parts of being a seller is keeping in mind that this is a business transaction. It's not an emotional one. So if someone offers what you don't feel would be enough, it's not, don't take it personally.
Right.
It's maybe what they can afford, or maybe that's what they feel that it's valued. Because I know when you live in your home, especially if you've been there for a really long time, it's really hard to kind of separate that emotional aspect from this is truly a business transaction.
Exactly. And maybe a person, you have a 3-bedroom home and a person really needs a 4-bedroom home, so they're offering a certain amount so in the future they can add on, or, you know, they might have just certain things that they need in a home.
Yeah. Okay, let's switch gears, talk about buyers and how do we compete with buyers as a buyer in the spring.
Okay, so first of all, you need to be pre-approved.
Yes, with a local lender.
Yes, absolutely, because that does matter in a multiple offer situation.
And it really matters, I think, in our community because we have I think our market does not, it's not the same trends as our nationwide market. We
Right.
I feel like we're in a little small pocket of sellers market for the past 3, 4, actually since COVID.
Yeah.
5 years, oh my gosh, 6 years.
Holy crap.
Wow. I know we lost a whole year of our life during that time,
Yeah,
but
right.
so our market is quite different, which is why it's so important from a buyer and a seller perspective to work with a local lender because they use local appraisers. The local appraisers understand our market compared
Yes.
to, we've had some that come from Southern Illinois or Chicago area that they don't understand or know our market. And sometimes the appraisals are not coming in where they naturally would be with
Yeah.
our market.
And that's another reason that it's important to not only work with a trusted local lender, but an experienced realtor, because we know how to prepare appraisers for the appraisal. We know that we need to let them know if there are multiple offers. We know that we need to let them know if there are recent updates or upgrades, just to keep it on their radar.
Yes, I think that's really important. I love that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so things buyers should not do before they close. So let's say you're under contract, right?
Yeah.
You've already had, the inspections or whatnot. There are some things that a buyer should not do, and it's really important to have those conversations, even though it might not feel really comfortable, and I think the lenders are having the same conversations, but don't go out and buy a whole house full of furniture.
No, wait.
Yes, or a car.
Yes.
Or any Amazon shopping sprees. Just
Yes.
because your debt to income ratio picture will look a little bit different than when you first applied for the loan. If you have some purchases you need to make, run it by your local lender first. Because they can tell you, yes, this would be fine. No, I wouldn't do this. That way you don't fall into the issue of, oh gosh, I bought a bunch of stuff and now my debt to income ratio, I no longer qualify for that loan. Because it has happened,
Yep.
unfortunately. Okay.
So know your non-negotiables when you start shopping for your home. Know what you have to have and what you would just like to have, because those are different.
Yeah.
Even though they feel the same sometimes.
Yeah. I think you and I both with our buyer consultation, we talk about what are your needs and wants? Like what do you really need? And then let's sprinkle in what do you want? And hopefully with the price point that you're at, we can kind of come to a really good compromise and find the right one for you.
Yeah. I think that things that you should, that should be non-negotiables are maybe if you have children, your school district.
Right.
That goes with location. If you need to be close to your job, if you're like a doctor or a nurse or something, you have to be within a certain amount of time from the hospital, definitely keep that in mind. If you have maybe a layout is important to you.
Yeah. So if you have family members, a multi-generational home, and you need a first floor primary bedroom, don't settle because something will come up. Don't settle. If that's a must have, we can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. So being prepared for competition, which is, again, something that we talk about with our buyers during our buyer consultation. Like there's several ways to make your offer stand out in a multiple offer situation. And we can't give you all of our secrets.
Right.
But we can just talk about some things.
Yeah. I think so. I think we can talk about an escalation clause. It's a great way to make sure that you have a strong offer, but also protect yourself financially.
Yes.
So with an escalation clause, you might say the home is listed for $250,000. So you might say, I would like to offer $250,000, but if another offer comes in, I'd like to beat it by a certain amount of money up to, your top end. Maybe that's $275,000. So you're starting lower, but saying to the seller, I love this home, I'm willing to go higher if there's competition.
Correct. Yep. And flexible closing dates.
Yep.
In the multiple offer situations, it's always a good idea for the agents to reach out to the selling agent and say, hey, what is important to the seller? Do they have a specific closing date in mind? That way you can make it as attractive and clean and in your favor for the seller as possible.
No, I think that's a really good point because not every seller is worried about money first. Something else might be more important. Maybe they have to get to their new home to start a new job or start school, something like that. So it's important that we're finding that out for our clients.
Yep. So I guess just keeping your offer as clean as possible with as little contingencies as possible.
Yep.
As few contingencies as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Be ready to tour a home.
Yeah.
If it's a good one and you like it, be ready to get out there as soon as you and your agent can make it work because there are definitely times where an offer could come in the first day and you can miss out on that home. And unfortunately, that's just going to happen. And I like to think that when it does happen, it's because something better is out there for you. But you obviously want to try really hard to be available.
Yeah, so I think the first 24 to 48 hours are the most important from a selling perspective and a buyer's perspective. Because back, last in our height of the market last year, most offers came in those first 48 hours and the house was sold. So don't always wait for the open house on the weekend to check it out. If you're interested, get in touch with us.
Yeah.
And we will help guide you.
Especially at the beginning of our spring market, because once we get deeper into our spring market, I think that listing agents start to adjust and start putting deadlines for offers. But here in the beginning, they're not sure what's going to happen with the market, so they're not putting deadlines in. So they might take their first offer.
Yeah. So some local Bloomington-Normal spring insights. Price points.
Yeah.
I think the price point in Bloomington-Normal across the entire year is typically the hottest price points, $150 to I would say $300.
Yes.
That seems to be, that's where our average priced homes about $275-ish at this point.
Yeah.
So anything in that price point, you can't wait.
And I'm just looking at our stats right now, and it says that the hottest price range is $300 to $350. So it's important to know and have your agent look into these things to know like how quickly things are going to be moving, because then you know if you need to put it into gear and get over to that house.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that, I guess we can talk a little bit about the list to price sale.
Yeah.
So in that price point, $300 to $350.
Yep.
Selling at 100%. So it's, it's selling at 100% of the list price.
Yes.
And that's why I love Remax Rising in our stats, because we have so much information and training available that we're kind of in the know of what's happening in every price point, not just in the market in general.
Yeah. And this way you have an idea of like, okay, are we going to have to offer full price to be competitive at least? And in $300 to $350, yes. Yes, you are.
You are. You are.
Okay. I think that's all that we have today for that, but we do want to end on a fun note.
Oh, yes. Our rapid fires.
Questions.
Okay, we're going to do a finish a sentence.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. The market right now feels like?
A spring market.
Okay.
If I had one more hour in the day, I would
Drink another cup of coffee.
Okay.
My team would describe me as?
Fun.
Yes.
The best part of this job is?
Ooh. I would say my team and my clients, the relationships you build.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Ooh, what's the worst part of the job?
Disappointment. Dealing with disappointment with your buyers, definitely in this market.
That is hard.
Yeah.
That is hard. Okay.
The last time I laughed so hard at work was when?
Last night.
I know.
When we had our team meeting. We always leave there laughing. We have so much fun.
I know. Yeah.
Good time.
It's true. Yeah.
My lockbox nemesis is...
We were talking about this, and you brought up snow, and that's definitely it.
Snow.
When it's cold out, it's tough. And if you're not wearing gloves and it's frozen, that's
Yes.
Yeah.
Or if you drop the key in the snow.
Yeah.
Then you're like, wow, where'd that go?
Yeah, so just like everything else in the Midwest, it's us versus the weather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for this one. So find us on Facebook,
Instagram,
Spotify. We're on YouTube,
Yeah.
Apple Music. like, subscribe, leave us a note. Contact us if there's anything you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let us know. We would love to help educate or have some fun. Let us know.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for
Thanks.
hanging.